Hey, good morning, Andrea, Tina, Molly, Jason. Okay, so I just sent y'all the first video named "Give Andrea Everything Capital Letter SHE She Needs." Okay, now it is 2:08 a.m. on the 13th of October 2023. I'm gonna spend a few minutes. I'm gonna get my little stuff in my throat. Get a few minutes where I talk about something, a couple things that I think that would be beneficial to all of us. Okay. Yeah, I kind of forgot that I had the skills to take you into the kitchen. Um, right now, me and Molly are working on cleaning up, reconfiguring everything. That's Molly's tea maker or water heater. It's beautiful, and it's you hit a button and tea starts being hot water starts being made. And what I did was I put some Dayquil in some water, and it makes it look like urine, but it's really concentrated to help my throat. My throat is important to me because I use it all the time. You know. Okay. Forgive me. Um, Let me just pray real quick. Ooh, hot. Have you ever felt that you heard from God about something? Ooh, I can't do this in a second. Have you ever have you ever felt that you heard from the Lord? Have you ever felt that God was talking to you? You knew what He said. Oh, I filled up the hard drive of that thing. I can't even work on it right now. That's good for me to know. That God can fill up any hard drive. He can give you so much information that you're not functioning right. I've had that happen to me more than one time where my hard drive is just full. And when God puts you in a scenario where you know so much from what you believe, okay, let's just break it down, because God doesn't have to be a fact, it can be fake. But what Andrea and I identify with in terms of our faith, it is a beyond reasonableness. There's an unreasonableness about having faith in God. There's an unreasonableness about doing a lot of stuff. For me, as a military person, it was unreasonable the amount of hours that we worked, getting up in the middle of the night, running, um, uh, being in the woods. A lot of the things that me and a lot of military people have done is unreasonable for natural, regular people. But yet, that was our life. And when you when you tell somebody that the life choices that they made is unreasonable, what are you saying about yourself? You stop, you pull back from Tina's life. It's unreasonable for someone to be at one job for so long. It's unreasonable after your tubes are tied and you're done having children. It's unreasonable for God to say, boom, here go major. That's unreasonable. It's unreasonable to have a mistake, like Jason Walker, to have a mistake that you made so long ago to have so many repercussions on your day-to-day today life. It's unreasonable. Love is unreasonable. Hate is unreasonable. God is unreasonable. So when you decide to fill yourself with a bunch of God stuff, reading the Bible, praying, going to church, listening to sermons, whatever, you're going to have the capacity to understand and say a lot. And people around you are going to feel you're unreasonable. So, in my 20s, I noticed this about myself. That's part of the reason why Shanae and me broke up, is because I was unreasonable. Part of the reason why Valerie and me broke up, or we're not together, is because I'm unreasonable when it comes to this God stuff. The fact that we stayed together for so long, 15 years, 10 months, 12 days. I stayed married longer than my father, my parents. Out of everybody in this whole circle, I believe either I've been married the longest and Tina is about to surpass me in terms of length and time to one person, if I'm not mistaken. It's unreasonable. When I came over to Tina's house one time, Tina's such a blessing to me. I showered at Tina's place. And Tina, when it was all over with, Tina sat me down. And she was cracking up a little bit when she said, Matt, do you know that you're too hairy? I'm like, what are you talking about? And she showed me, and she had already cleaned it, but she showed me how much hair leaves my body. There were pubic hairs at the top. My pubic hairs, for some reason, when I shower, my pubic hairs dance in the shower with me, and they jump all up at the top. She said, Matt, it's unreasonable for pubic hairs to have been so far up. It's as if you know, put your, you know, she was laughing. She cleaned it all up, and then me and her went to work. We are unreasonable people, individually, each of us. So we have to be reasonable with each other. The reason why Valerie and me stayed together for as long as we did is because I learned I have to reason with a person who does not understand my reasons. Valerie does not and did not understand my reasons until it was too late. And that's on everything. Right now, there are times that she wishes. I saw her and Naomi today. And I'm going to tell a little story too before I get out of here. Valerie wishes that she could have done it over. Now that she knows that Molly is my woman, she's hating life. And she's walking around with this scowl. I saw her today. Naomi loves her dad. The same way that Andrea and Tina love our dad. Nathan loves his dad. The same way that I love my father, Rocco. Now, Rocco is never going to like Jason. Now, it's not unreasonable for Jason to understand that as a ex-convict, if you look at the reality, regardless of the facts, the nuances of your situation, Jason, Tina and me talked about. We know. You got a raw deal. You were screwed over. But my father does not have to understand all that stuff. All that my father needs to know, and all my father does know, is that somehow you make Andrea happy. Now, Jason and Andrea and Molly and Matthew are the same relationship essentially. We're the same. We're walkers with someone else. We are who we are under Rocco with someone else. Molly has a whole family network the same way that Tina's husband and Jason has a whole family network. Don't call the wrong network when you have a problem. Jason should not call Tina or me about their problems in the relationship with our sister. You know who he needs to call? He needs to call God. Just call God. He's right there in the midst. When two or three are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst. Now, you don't have to read scripture with your wife. You don't. This whole let's pray together, it's for the birds. Y'all just be people. Yes, you're spiritual, but be reasonable. Skip trying to do all the spiritual stuff with each other. Just you be the husband, you be the wife, And guess what? It's not gonna look perfect like someone else's. I'm I choose to be the wife of our scenario between me and Molly. Now, Molly knows I'm a man, so I'm a husband. But Molly has smoothed out the rough edges of me to make it so that I'm at least got a lighter touch. Now, I am still gruffy, roughy, rough. I will verbally let you know that I have no problem letting you know what's on my mind. And I know how to do it in a special way, in a smooth way. But sometimes it's still too rough. Andrea is the little sister of the mad dog. You have to remember, I was the mad dog. Andrea and Tina are the sisters of the mad dog. Nothing but the dog in me. It's just the dog in me. Before we were singing Happy Birthday, before we sing I heard today was a wonderful day. Before we started singing that, we were singing nothing but the dog in me. Tina and Andrea, guess what? I found. I've got us in high school singing nothing but the dog in me. It's just the dog. I've got the actual cassette tape. I've got our voices at such a young age. Our children, I've got the gap. I've got the moments where we were your children's ages. I have them audio. I have it. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay? Andrea, skip trying, please. I beg of thee, Andrea. I beg you. Please, Andrea. Don't worry about her husband's family betting against y'all. Because guess what? What's the worst that could happen if the bet is won? You're divorced twice. So what? So what? So what? It can't be worse than it is now. It can be better than it is now, but it can't be worse. So don't fight for something that's worse to get better. Just allow it to be. Molly calling Tina could have been a frustration to me. Just like when Valerie called Tina, it was a frustration to me. But I've learned I can't change women. I can only change me. And therefore this approach was born. I'm not making the same mistake I did in my marriage to Valerie, which was try to keep being nice. If I need to bark at a person, I'm going to bark at them. If I need to cuss at a person, I'm going to cuss at them. Why? Because they need it. If they don't need it, then they don't need to be messing with me at all. If you don't want to get barked at by me, then don't call me about something that's barkable. Call me about something that's harkable. Harkable means, look at this, boom. Look at that, boom. This is what Andrew does. Look at this, boom. So I sit down and I have my Andrew time where I look at all this stuff. I can look at it all the time because she be boom, 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 boom. But if you can't handle Andrea, you know you can't handle me. If you can't handle Andrea, you know you can't handle Dad. Listen, Jason, don't try to have a relationship with my father. Skip it. Forget it. Because my father really yearns for one thing, respect from the in-laws. Molly came over to my father and she graced him with her presence and she respected him. And so Molly is the favorite in-law, right? Guess what? The second favorite in-law is John because Tina Tina did not bow to Dad's bullcrap. And Dad, even though he can say negative things about John, they're unreasonable things, and he's had to admit, I'm stupid for thinking the way I think. My father is like a changed Archie Bunker or George Jefferson. With unreasonable people, you have to have your own reasons and just do them. Forget about the differences of opinion. Forget about the differences in viewpoint. Forget about the differences in altitude or attitude, whatever. Just do what God told you to do. And if God didn't tell you to do nothing, two things. Either go get some instruction from the Lord or don't. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Molly was scared because she's never seen me deal with so much pressure while at the same time laughing about it, creating, working on stuff, whatever. My life is my life. I have such a great time by myself. If I didn't have Molly or nobody else, I would just be having a good time, which is what I've been doing. I love hanging out by myself all the time. I look weird, so what? And now I don't mind exposing some of my weirdness and some of my unreasonableness. It doesn't take anything away from my man of Godness. Doesn't take anything away from my manness that I cry. I videotape myself crying. Why? Because I love myself. And I want my son and my daughter to love themselves. And I want my lineage, my family members, I want all of us to love ourselves. That's all I want. Now it's been 22 minutes. There's so much more that I want to say. But I've got stuff to do. Try to have a good night and a good day.